When you visit a theme park, most of the guests are great. But there are 7 types of guests at theme parks that drive me nuts when I'm visiting. One of the major reasons I wanted to work at theme parks was because I enjoy visiting them so much. I have a blast going with my family or by myself and spending time. I have so much fun at theme parks that I can actually go to one, and I have, where I can just sit and just watch the other guests having fun and have a ball. Most of the guests are wonderful, and I enjoy watching other people and experiencing the parks with them. But there are some guests, a definite group of them, that as a guest myself, drive me nuts in the parks. And sometimes you just want to reach out and just... Here's 7 of the worst. The first guest that drives me nuts. The ones that just stop walking in the middle of the sidewalk. Oh my goodness. It may be to stop to figure out where they're going, to read the map. It may be to stop to take a picture. It may be to stop and just look around. Or it could be just stopping for the sake of stopping. Whatever it is, you're walking along, you're heading off to your next ride or show, you're charging along, and then all of a sudden somebody stops and you almost run into them and like, ah, get out of the way! Okay, now I have to admit, not only do I see this happen a lot, but yeah, I have been guilty. And okay, let's be real. Most of us have done this at some point without realizing because we're gawking at something. Or in my case, it's usually to take pictures or shoot a quick video or something. Remind ourselves there's other people around. We're in the middle of a walkway. Get over to the side. If you've got to tie your shoe, move to the side. Whatever it is, get out of the way. I have seen some people that it just seems to be this pattern, and you get stuck behind them because of the crowds and you can't get around them, and they stop, look around, take a few more steps, stop again. It's just like, you just kind of want to kick them to make them move. Get out of the way. Number 2, the slow walkers. I don't know what it is with some groups of people that when you're there with friends, I don't know, about me, we like to kind of huddle together and talk, and that way we can hear each other's voices. But there are groups that I see in the parks often that can be 4 to 8 people, and rather than be huddled together, they insist on walking side by side all the way across the walkway, and then they go slow, plodding along, and you can't get through them. Would you get out of the way? I can understand some people not walking fast. That doesn't bother me. Trust me, with my heart condition and other stuff, I have times where I take my time in the parks. My kids will laugh at me because they call me the turbo rabbit, but there are times. There's nothing wrong with going slow, but there's a problem when you've got a whole group that thinks it has to walk all the way across the walkway and block everybody else. You're not the walkway police. If you want to walk slow, fine. Just make sure you've got room around you for other people to get by. The people that are like side by side with, a foot or 2 in between, I have actually had times where they just wouldn't move, and you stand behind them and go, excuse me, and finally, fine, you push through because they won't get out of the way. I mean, come on, I got shows to see and rides to ride and stuff, and tootle around in your own space. Get out of mine. Number 3, dangerous drivers and walkers. Okay, this revolves around the scooters and the strollers and the wheelchairs, and I have been in both sides of this, so I'm not calling out one group. I've seen so many times where people who shouldn't be driving are in scooters, people who don't know how to steer are pushing strollers or pulling wagons, and they're just running into the wall and the curbs and the stores and the trash cans and the people. They're just oblivious to what's going on. My mother-in-law was one of these. I'm like, oh my goodness, we finally kicked her off the scooter because she was dangerous. I can't tell you how many times when I was working as a PhotoPass photographer, I would be standing in the middle of the street I'm loud when I'm taking pictures. I'm obvious when I'm taking pictures. You can't miss me. And I would have people ram into the back of me with their strollers or their chairs. Hello? You couldn't see me not moving, taking pictures, and making lots of noise? Come on! I had a number of times I would have to have bandages on my ankles because people had rammed into me. And you just see them steering all over and running over people and getting out of the way and thinking they own the road. Now, this isn't everybody. It's not even most of them. But it's enough that it drives you nuts. I'm almost at a point where if you don't know how to drive a scooter, you shouldn't be in one. And if you don't have a scooter's driver's license, that'd be a way to make some money. Offer a scooter driving school. Might be safer. At the same time, I've actually been on the other side of it as well. When I had my cancer surgery, and after I was starting to move around a little bit, I went to the parks in a wheelchair and a scooter, and spent the time experiencing the other side. And the number of people that would ignore you, not see you, you're cruising along, and then they would just step right in front of you, almost daring you to hit them. People that would cut you off. I've got the side of the scooter and the chair kicked. I actually had people when I was in the wheelchair getting pushed. I had one guy that just rammed right into my wheelchair. I'm like, excuse me, I am here. The people that would stop, again, the walkway stoppers, stop right in front of a moving chair. It's kind of hard not to hit you when you're doing that. I was amazed at how clueless and just rude people were to people in chairs and scooters. It goes both ways. Learn to drive, learn to walk. Pay attention to what's around you. Number 4, people that talk loudly during pre-shows and shows. Okay, this just drives me nuts. If you're getting ready to go on a ride, say at Disney, you can think Soaring or Flight of Passage or Rise of the Resistance or even the Haunted Mansion elevator is a good example. There's obviously some narration going on. There's something that they're doing. In the Library at Tower Terror, you see the screens come on. There's something happening. Pay attention. And then you got these people over in the corner.
Well, Maud, we were gonna go have lunch over at that fried chicken place.
You're like, I can't hear what's going on because you're yakety blabbiting. Shut up! If there is something going on, zip it. If you absolutely, positively have to say something to the person next to you, at least be polite enough to whisper. They are right next to you. The people on the other side of the room don't need to hear you. And if your group is on the other side of the room, walk around or wait. Why do people feel this need to ruin what's going on and do that? Carousel of Progress. I've seen people go in. Yes, the show has probably been seen thousands of times by some people. But they go in and rather than allow the other people in the theater to enjoy the show, they sit there and they yak up a storm. Really? It makes me want to have like a squirt gun or something and just start shooting people every time they talk. Be quiet, let me enjoy. There's times and places to talk and have discussions and stuff. A ride or attraction pre-show and a show itself are not the place. Number 5, line cutters. This may be the bane of my existence in some cases. It doesn't happen as often at Disney, but it does happen. Same with Universal. They're pretty good about enforcing it there. But there are some parks out there, in particular a couple in the Six Flags chain, and one in the Cedar Fair chain I can think of, that are just terrible. That you see people just constantly doing it. It's like, why on earth do we even have a line when there are so many line cutters? Parks often have a policy that if they catch you cutting in line, they can kick you out of the line. Some will even kick you out of the park, but it's worthless if they don't enforce it. Everybody's paying to be there. If you really want to skip the line, go pay for whatever system they've got to skip the line. Use that. Otherwise, wait with everybody else. This drives me insane. Now, I understand if you've got a group and little kid had to go to the bathroom and you have to run out. That makes sense. That happens. So if I see a group coming up, look, our family's up there and, Junior had to go. Okay. But when I see just groups of teenagers, college age, and, there's one and then there's another one, my son and I have a little deal that we tend to stand in the line. If the line's like this, we'll just stand in the middle and we'll form a wall. You want to get past this? You better have a stinking good reason. Otherwise, I'm just going to stand here and make you wait behind me. Oh, your group's up there and you're not with them? Why is that? Because you were doing something else good. They can wait for you until you catch up. And if they can't wait for you, then you're really not with them, are you? Disney is really good generally that if they can catch them before they get up to the ride, if you can flag down a cast member and just go, hey, they're cutting, they'll kick them out. I've seen them send people out of the ride lines, and it drives me nuts. Drives me nuts. It's just rude. It's disrespectful to everybody around you. It's self-centered. I wouldn't mind seeing line cutters get kicked out of parks more often. Kicked out, no refund. Too bad. You're a jerk. You deserve it. Number 6, flashers. Okay, as a guy who shoots photography in the parks a lot and shoots video, this drives me insane. On dark rides and shows, you see people that'll pull their cameras out and start taking flash photos. What are you doing? It ruins the ride for everybody around them. The flashing light will kill it. A dark ride, it reveals everything and really ruins the special effects. I love the behind the scenes when people get stopped and they have to walk off, and those are cool. But when you're taking it during the ride, it just ruins the ride. The flashing light will flash your eyes, and then you got the people that are shooting on their cell phones, and the screen is all lit up, and so you're in the middle of a ride, and all you can see is this. It's this big bright light from the screen. Ugh. Okay, here's this really neat trick with cell phones, folks. If you've really got to shoot video or pictures, you take your dimmer and you dim it. Look, it's still on. The camera's still working, but you can't see it, which means in the ride, other people can't see it. You don't have this huge bright light that's lighting up the whole thing and ruining it for everybody and distracting them. If I'm going to shoot video on a ride, like a dark ride or something, this is what I do. Not only that, but then I also hold it close to me. 1, because it's more stable, which is good on a ride. But 2, it also uses my body to block the light. And then I'll turn my body to shoot it. There's a couple other things I do too, but that's coming up in the next point. If you've got to shoot, hold it this way so nobody can see it and dim it. Stop using the flash. Stop turning on your bright screens and be respectful of the rules. Rules? Yeah, there's rules about what you can shoot and where you can shoot and where you can't. And that leads me to number 7. Using cameras when you're not supposed to. This may be my biggest peeve in a park. When I'm on a roller coaster, we're going up the lift hill, and Johnny Yahoo pulls out their phone to try to record the roller coaster. First off, it's against the rules in almost every park. Disney's one of the few exceptions. There's a couple others, but almost everywhere, cell phones aren't allowed on rides, especially not out shooting video. Keep it in your pocket. It's dangerous. It can get you kicked out of the parks. It can put your phone at risk. There's this funny idea that people think that, oh, if I hold my phone here, I can get some great video footage. Well, let me show you what kind of video footage you're going to get on a roller coaster trying to handhold your cell phone. It looks like crap, okay? Especially when pretty much every roller coaster out there, the parks already have a high quality, good video online somewhere that you can watch without all the jerking around. Sometimes you want to get pictures of your family and whatever. You better make sure it's legal first. Most parks ban them outright, period. None, zip, zilch, nada, not going to happen. Not allowed. When I go to a park, I always contact the park first if I'm even remotely thinking about shooting on a ride and asking their policies. If they say no video footage on ride, no pictures, no questions asked, no problem. The few times I have gotten on-ride video footage, I've done a couple of different things. Again, always with park permission, always with the knowledge and permission of the ride operators in addition to the park PR department in knowing their rules and policies. If I'm going to shoot with a cell phone, such as on a dark ride, or if I want to use a regular camera or something, I use a setup kind of like this. This is a nice hard clamp that holds the phone in place. This phone is not going anywhere. I can fling this thing all over the place and it's not going to move. I also use a different clip on that clip. Instead of using my little mini tripod, I actually have a pistol grip that has a strap on it. And I will actually take that strap, wrap it around my wrist, and that way as I'm holding it on the ride, Even if I were to lose my grip and it slips and falls, it's going to catch that strap and hang there, and it's not going to go anywhere. So I can't possibly lose my phone. I still will not use this on a roller coaster. The only exception to that was Slinky Dog, and again, that was with the strap. And that's just because they didn't want my GoPro for some reason. That's my other option. GoPros with the harnesses and straps. I've used a head strap. I have used a wrist strap. This is my favorite way to do it. It's a whole chest setup. And you actually get to wear it on your chest that way. So if you really want to show people in your group, this is good if you've got cars where you can see each other. So for example, a Rapids ride or something like that. And again, always to the ride ops. Hey, I've got this GoPro. Is this okay? Is this permissible? If you say no, I take it off, I put it into my camera bag, and it stays behind. Don't do it without permission. And you do it in a way that doesn't have any chance of coming loose and flying. Never this on a roller coaster. Why? Well, do you know how easy it is to have this thing fall out of your hand? Not only are you getting lousy footage, but you're taking the risk of dropping your phone, which means it's either falling off a roller coaster at high speed, smashing into the ground, probably ruining your phone, but there's also the risk to everybody around you. I don't want to tell you how many times I have seen hats and other things and phones fly off of roller coasters. When we were on Lightning Rod at Dollywood, we had somebody 3 rows ahead of us holding their phone up, and they lost it. It hit a bump and it went whoop. And I mean, it flew right past my head. Scared the crud out of me. I've seen somebody who's been hit by a cell phone on a roller coaster in the mouth, split them open, bleeding, bloody, because somebody thought that they would be really cool and get a video with their cell phone on a coaster. Don't do it. You want on-ride footage of the roller coaster? Go look online. If you need to do it professionally for something like my videos, the way I do it, call the park and talk to them. If they don't give you permission, which they probably won't, they may give you options to use some of their footage and give them credit. Thank you, Silver Dollar City, for having done that for me in the past. And I've had others do that for me as well. If they still say no, well, you know what? You don't need it that bad. You'll be okay. Don't be dumb. Don't put other people's safety at risk. So there's 7 of the worst guests that drive me nuts at parks. I know I'm leaving some off of the list as well. People who are rude, people who don't obey the rules, and various things like that. What are some of your worst peeves? I would love to hear them. Share them in the comments below. Be sure to check the description as well for lists of gear, including that pistol grip I talked to you about and the clamp I've got, the fan pages, merchandise, and so much more. It's all down in that description. Thank you as well to my patrons and my YouTube members. My financial supporters help me to do so much, including going out and getting some of that footage I talked about. If you want to know more about those, as well as some of the perks that come with them, again, be sure to check the description below or the links at the end of the video. Thank you so incredibly much for watching, and God bless. I have sand. I have sand. I don't know why I would have sand. I'm not anywhere near the beach. There's obviously yeah. If you actually... Okay. Let's see if we can get this thing to work right. Okay. Love it when the camera... Technical stuff. If you'd like to know about my merchandise, contact information, fan pages, and more, be sure to check the description below. If you want to make sure you don't miss any of my videos, hit that button right there to subscribe. And if you want to see another one, well, I've got a great video for you right here. If you'd like to be like these wonderful people here too and support me financially on Patreon or YouTube, well, hit that little button right there. It'll even give you behind the scenes access and more perks. Thank you so incredibly much for watching, and God bless.